What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 96 of the Axis of Combat podcast. I'm one half of your host, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy, Ray Boogie Kahuna. On today's episode, no UFC, but we got some PFL World Tournament Round 1, Week 3. And on the boxing end, just a couple of boxing fights, we're going to cover here and there. But before we get into any of that, my brother, tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
First fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Aaron Jeffery going one-on-one with Murad Ramazanov. Jeffery, 15-5 overall, fighting out of Canada, hailing from Canada, 32 years old. Ramazanov, 12-2 overall, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 29 years old. Kind of a fan of Aaron Jeffery myself. I like the guy. Unfortunately, he's a two-time Contender Series loser, tried to make his way into the UFC, and ran into Brandon Allen and Kyle Borralho, unfortunately. Since then, moved to Bellator. Now Bellator is PFL. PFLator. Still doing his thing. Very good wrestler. Decent striker. He does have power in both his hands. I think the kid's got the goods. He's got potential. Unfortunately, he's running into Murad here, an elite grappler. And when I say elite grappler, this guy just wants to take you to the ground in prison time. Cue the careless whispers. It's happening. This is all he wants to do. I want to pick Aaron Jeffery for this one, but unfortunately, I don't trust his takedown defense enough. Give me Murad here. I say probably by decision.
Yeah, there's a consistent trend here with Aaron Jeffries. And if you notice, it's essentially just Kyle Borralho, Brendan Allen, and now Murad. What do all three of these guys have in common? They're guys who effectively want to get the fight to the floor. And they're pretty good at doing it. And or they're going to spam you with takedowns to get you to the positions that they want to get you to. I think Jeffries can pull this out, but not to my lean or betting, my betting sense here. I think this is a tough fight for him. I think he's going to lose a lot of the positions to Murad. Murad was able to take Shamil Musayev down at times and hold him in certain spots. Musayev is a beast, was able to get back up and land damage on him. But if you're asking me, I think Aaron Jeffries doesn't have the same get-up ability as Shamil. He also doesn't even have the same punching power, even though he's a relatively big guy. I think Murad is going to be able to get to his back and get positions. I don't think he subbed him. I think he probably wins this by decision.
Yeah, it's one of these things where I think if Aaron Jeffries is able to keep the fight on the feet, I do think he has enough power to clip him, kind of like Shamil did. But man, like I said, Murad, he's relentless.
Once again, I just think he's going to be able to get to his positions here. I don't think it ends by sub. I think he gets it done by decision. So I'm going to lean Murad via decision for this contest.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have Cassius Clay Collard going one-on-one with Alfie, the Axeman Davis. Collard, 25-14, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, 32 years old. The Axeman. Alfie Davis is 17-5-1. Fighting out of England, hailing from England, 33 years old.
Yeah, they call him the Axeman because he has actually a mean axe kick and has a highlight axe kick knockout. Yeah. Just as an FYI to the folks that have no idea why they call him the Axeman. Not because, he committed some horrendous act.
Yeah, I don't think the man's a murderer. But not only axe kicks, he throws spinning heel kicks. He'll throw them in, what do you call that? In continuation, in procession, or I'm not sure.
In combination.
In combination. He'll throw spinning elbows, spinning back fists. The dude's got more versatility in his game when you compare it to
Clay Collard.
Where Clay Collard got him beat is both in, experience and fundamentals. I think Collard's the better boxer. By far. I mean, the guys that he's got actual boxing fights on his record. It's up to Collard to close the distance here. Even though he and Alfie are kind of similar in age, he's just went through so many fucking wars.
Yes.
Both guys don't really got to worry about the grappling here. Alfie is probably going to be the one to push the grappling if necessary, but I think this is a stand-up affair for the most part.
Yeah, and Clay's takedown defense is pretty good.
Alfie probably more willing to go to submissions though, and maybe play off his back if he gets taken down to the ground, but I'm not sure who wins this fight. I go back and forth. I think this fight is probably going to go to distance. Either way, probably split decision. I think I'm going to lean on Collard here, just purely on experience.
Yeah, I'm with you on this play, and I want to see what the line looks like, because if Alfie's getting super disrespected, I think he's worth a shot just because he has the more dynamic striking. He's going to be able to throw kicks. He goes to the body. The only thing I don't like about Alfie's game, he doesn't go to the leg kicks as much as I like him to. He's okay fighting off his back foot. He kind of leaves his chin up when he's exiting, and it's because he has that blitz karate style. And most of those guys throw combinations, but their defense on exits is kind of shit. The best I've ever seen do it is Wonder Boy, but Wonder Boy is actually decent at knowing where to be and not where to be, unlike a lot of karate experts. So, and Alfie Davis is not Wonder Boy. So I'm going to lean Collard here too, because I think the pressure is going to probably break down Alfie, and Alfie's not going to be able to effectively land leg kicks, which is the remedy outside of taking down Collard to beat him on the stand-up, right? Collard's going to be able to land the bigger shots. Collard's going to be able to get the punches quicker from A to B relative to Alfie getting his kicks from A to B faster. He's got more experience. He's got better fundamentals. I think he has better takedown defense than a lot of guys want to give him credit for. He has been taking that the last couple of his contests, but those were against wrestlers. Their game is predicated around getting you to the floor. Give me Collard here by decision, but if this line is disrespectful, which we do not have lines yet for PFL, a dog shot on Alfie Davis may not be the worst play in the world. But once we get the lines, follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be able to further instruct you on how we're going to play these fights. But as of right now, with no lines available, give me Clay Collard by decision.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Josh Silveira going one-on-one with Mike Shipman. Silveira, 13-4 overall, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, 32 years old. Seabass, Mike Shipman, 17-4 overall, fighting out of England, hailing from England, 34 years old. This is a fight where I kind of initially wanted to lean Shipman because I think Shipman is the better wrestler, but I can't come around to it. I think Josh is the bigger guy, the stronger guy. I think his striking's a little underrated. I think he can be taken down, but I think his jiu-jitsu is very good. I see too many plus sides on the Silveira side to kind of like just push him to the side here. Give me Silveira here for the win. I think he finishes Mike Shipman. I think he packs Shipman up in the maybe second, third round. I kind of find this fight in particular a fight that I don't think Silveira should lose. I think if he loses, it's his fault. So give me Silveira here for the win. I say probably late round stoppage.
Yeah, I'm with you on this play too. And we talked about this off the podcast. Shipman's probably going to win the first, maybe even the second round. The problem with Shipman, no one's pushed him past his threshold and had the conditioning to really push him far enough where he's going to fall off a cliff in a fight. He's a little bit of a gas bag. And this is going to be a bigger guy that he's wrestling into. He should be able to get him down, but I have a hard time believing he's going to hold Silveira down for long periods of time. If you look at his record, he's only lost 4 times. 2 times to 2 light heavyweights, and this is a middleweight fight, and 2 times to Kasanganay, who's the best guy in this division, low-key in the PFL. You have to determine if Shipman is of that caliber. Is he strong enough, which he is. He is a fucking gorilla. Can he effectively hold him down for multiple minutes at a time and for multiple rounds? I don't see it. I think he's gonna get tired because he's gotten tired against smaller opponents and guys that give him a little bit of resistance. I think this is a little bit of a tough fight for him, especially down the stretch. I like Silveira here, and I like him by third round decision. I think that's how it would lean. But I think Silveira is going to make him work and get him very tired, and then probably stop him at some point. I agree. I think the stoppage is probably going to come. But I'll say third round of decision as a lean for the podcast's sake.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Dalton Hercules Rosta going one-on-one with the Swedish Denzel Sadibou. Rosta, 9-1 overall, fighting out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, 29 years old. 17-8-2 overall, fighting out of Sweden, repping Sweden, 38 years old. This fight screams messy as fuck all over it.
Yes.
Rosta, brute, kind of like Petrosky from the UFC, but
more diesel,
more aggressive, more explosive.
Yeah.
I think he can probably take Sai down. The issue that I have here is a couple things. One, Sai historically kind of tough to take down initially. He's always got the size and reach advantage here where, especially against the cage, he knows how to kind of use that to his advantage. So I can see, Rosta probably having some difficulty as the fight goes on. I see early success from him, but as the fight goes on, as he, will get tired, I can see that becoming an issue. Also, another thing I do worry about the Sai side is that he is older. He has been slowing down a bit. This fight was a couple of years ago. I'd probably be a little more confident on the Sai side here. As of right now, I think this fight's a 50-50 because I think Rosta can have success, can probably hold him down, at least for the first 2 rounds. But Sai, live late, middle to late rounds.
This is a tough fight to bet on, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of variables. We feel way more confident with Silveira getting over on Shipman. And this is a very similar stylistic matchup, but not really because Silveira doesn't have the striking that Sai does, right? But Dalton, Rosta, and Shipman have gas tank issues. Like, they just do. Rosta, huge for the weight class, jacked as hell, but he gasses. And he effectively wants to wrestle for 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the rounds. Yeah, I don't think he's been 25 minutes, and I don't think he would last in a 25-minute fight, to be frank with you. And even 15, he's had just rough goes. So for me, it's like Sai, third round decision. That's how we'll look at this fight. But Rosta can probably win the first 2 rounds of this fight, which would give him the decision too. Which is why, from a betting standpoint, I don't have a ton of interest in betting this fight.
Yeah, this one is probably one you want to dive into like live.
Yes.
Nothing pre-flop, because again, I mean, Rosta can either make this look easy or make this look terrible. And for some reason, when you look at both fighters, you would think there would be a finish here. This one screams decision for some reason because I just feel sloppiness in this fight.
I love the overs in this fight. The overs I think are surely gonna hit.
And that might be kind of spicy. Yeah. But, you know.
Yeah, Sai could clip him late, because he has done in the third round where he stopped dudes that like try to wrestle him for 10 minutes and they get tired and he stops them. But Rosta's fucking durable, man. He's a guy that you have to disconnect from his consciousness to get him out of there. And he will sell out for the takedown and put his head in positions where he's not going to get hit.
And his striking ain't shit, but he hits hard. I mean, he you know the overhand is coming.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
But man, he throws that shit with authority.
Yes. So this fight stinks in a lot of ways. I would say the overs is where I would lean with this, but this is a fight that I'm probably going to stay away from.
You said you're leaning Sai?
I'm going to lean Sai, but I like that pick could change.
Yeah, I kind of want to lean Rosta here, but
I don't blame you.
It's gross.
It's gross.
Yeah.
This might be a value play. Like if Sai's a plus 300, I'll play that shit. If Rosta's a plus 300, I'll play that shit. But like if it's like a pick'em, I have no interest in this fight. It's just a tough fight to call. But I'll lean Sai for the podcast sake, but not with a high degree of confidence.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have Mads Burnell going 1-on-1 with JJ Wilson. Burnell, 20-6 overall, fighting out of Denmark, repping Denmark, 31 years old. Wilson, 10-1 overall, fighting out of New Zealand, repping New Zealand, 27 years old. This is another fight where it's probably going to be closer than advertised. I will be leaning the Wilson side here, though. I think Wilson is just bigger, stronger. I think he's going to be the better striker here. I think if Burnell probably goes to the wrestling, he probably has a chance here, but I for some reason I think Wilson will be the one to go to the grappling first and more often, and I think he's a little better on the ground too. I think the kid's just a little better overall, but this is one of these fights where if he makes a mistake, Burnell, you know, he's a crafty veteran. He will take advantage. I can see Wilson winning here probably by decision, possible late round finish. I know Burnell's historically kind of durable. I think susceptible to subs if I'm not mistaken, but give me Wilson here for the win, sub or decision.
Yeah, I'm with you with JJ Wilson here. I think JJ Wilson, I can trust him to go to his wrestling a little more often. Mads doesn't go to his wrestling as much. He fights a lot like Nate and Nick Diaz, where he throws strikes, wears you down, and then hopes you wrestle into his jiu-jitsu. JJ throws in combination. He's going to be bigger, younger, stronger, and I think he makes better fight decisions. Plus, I think he's very crafty on the floor as well. Like, he throws up a lot of good sub attempts to get back up to his feet and to finish the fight. Mads is just a guy that I kind of know what he is, and I know what he's going to be. JJ definitely has a higher ceiling, especially at this point in his career. So I'm going to lean JJ Wilson by decision. The other thing I want to point out about JJ gave our next guy, the next fight, Gadzhi, a run for his money. That fight was very competitive. He even took Gadzhi down, which says a lot because we're going to be very high on Gadzhi when we speak about him next fight. That fight alone showed me a lot about JJ, and JJ was a fucking dog in that fight. So give me JJ Wilson here. I'll say by third round decision, but not with a high degree of confidence. I'm confident on the play on JJ. I'm just not confident how he's going to do it. Once again, follow us on all social media platforms for how we're going to play this fight.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have Gadzhi Rabadanov going 1-on-1 with the Bone Crusher, Marc Diakiese. Gadzhi, 24-4-2, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 31 years old. Diakiese, 18-7, fighting out of England, repping England, 32 years old. You figured in a fight like this, you probably want to lean, you know, Marc Diakiese, you know, for several reasons. You know, he's a former UFC guy. You know, he left on a win, but no. Not going to be leaning that way today. Diakiese, very good striker, underrated wrestler. He's actually developed his wrestling to the point where, you know, some people might even consider him more of a better wrestler than striker. That being said, I think Gadzhi, I think he's got the better striking. He might be at a size disadvantage here, but I don't think that's going to be an issue here. I think he's got the faster hands. I think he throws better combinations. I think he's got better wrestling, and I also think he's got better wrestling defense. Gadzhi's going to be the side here for me. I think he got Diakiese covered on all portions and all components of the game here. Maybe Gadzhi finishes him. I say probably by KO. Give me Gadzhi late round decision.
Yeah, this is one of those lines where I'm going to see how it shakes out, because if Diakiese's sitting like at a plus 500, I wouldn't mind playing him just because I know he's going to have the physicality edge, and I know he's effectively going to wrestle for 3 rounds and try to wrestle. But the thing is, if this fight stays standing, he's filthy on the feet too. So, but I'm with you here. I think Gadzhi's going to be too much for him to handle. I think Gadzhi has pretty much got him covered everywhere, to be frank. And even if he might have like the slight size disadvantage, I think his skill level is crazy. Like, he's very good. And he's going to be a real problem for Diakiese, because Diakiese is not going to be able to get out of first gear with this guy, I feel. I think he's going to shoot. He's going to be disappointed by the shot, and then he's just going to look to survive for the rest of the fight. He's going to try and shoot, try and strike. But that's the thing with Diakiese. He got cut from the UFC on a whim because he is a lay and pray guy. He does not like to get hit, at least no more at this point in his career. He was a guy that got brought in because he was an exciting striker, and once he got to the UFC, he became a lay and pray artist, right? So bring the Barry Manilow, bring in the candles and the steak. I just don't feel like he's going to be able to get Gadzhi to the floor whenever he wants to in this fight. And even if he does, I think Gadzhi's going to pop right back up. Give me Gadzhi. I'll say by knockout as well.
Next fight on the card, and as currently constituted the co-main event of the evening, at men's lightweight, we have Alexander Shabliy going one-on-one with Brent Primus. Shabliy, 24-4, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 32 years old. Primus, 15-4 overall, fighting out of Eugene, Oregon, 40 years old. Another fight where Primus is okay, but Shabliy's just that much better. Shabliy, when it comes to the striking, I think he's light years ahead of Primus. He's got better footwork, works good off his back, walking backwards, better combination striker. Where Primus is probably going to want this fight is probably on the ground, but I think Shabliy's got good enough takedown defense to kind of stuff a lot of his offense. Primus's only way to win here is probably just a cage push and hope to get Shabliy on the ground enough to control, maybe land some ground and pound, but I just don't see that happening. Give me Shabliy here for the win. I think Shabliy styles on him. Primus is 40 years old. He might look 40 years old in there. Shabliy going, Shabba ranks the boy. I don't even know what that means, but that sounded hard.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it short. You pretty much covered everything there. I think this is the biggest mismatch on the card, on this stacked PFL card, because this card is competitive and fun. But this is the biggest mismatch. I think Shabliy is going to do whatever he wants in there. I think Brent Primus is old. I think he's a gas bag. I think if he can't effectively wrestle this guy after the first round, he's going to be tied in the second, and Shabliy is going to beat the fuck out of him after that. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Brent is old. I think this is a tough fight for Brent, and I think Shabliy styles on him and does whatever he wants. Give me Shabliy by knockout. I don't think he subs him because Brent can grapple on the floor pretty well, even when he's hurt. So I'm going to go Shabliy by knockout here.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, and is currently constituted the main event of the evening. We have Impa Kasanganay going one-on-one with Fabian Edwards. Kasanganay, 18-5 overall, fighting out of Charlotte, North Carolina, 31 years old. Edwards, 13-4 overall, fighting out of Birmingham, England, 32 years old. This fight is funny because Fabian was originally scheduled to fight, then I think got hurt and then pulled out, but then decided he wasn't that hurt and decided to come back in. PFL for you guys. That being said, this is probably the more interesting of the fight. He was, you know, when he fell out initially, they had him scheduled to fight Jordan Newman, who's a decent prospect, but, you know, the Impa Edwards is better.
It's a great fight.
That being said, I think Kasanganay, this is his fight to lose. The lesser of the two Edwards. In my opinion. He's not Leon.
And the other one ain't got too much stock right now after what Brady did to his ass.
Does he have to worry about grappling from Kasanganay here? Probably not.
I agree with you. I don't think Fabian has to worry too much about it, but Kasanganay has it in his back pocket, low-key, if he needs to go to it.
And I think he will go to it. But I just think Kasanganay just got him covered, man. I mean, Kasanganay, I think, is going to clip him. That's what I think. What Fabian's going to do is he's going to cage push. He's going to try to stifle the guy's offense. Kasanganay, this guy used to fight at 205. This guy used to fight at 170. Yeah. This guy used to fight all over the place, but I think this is his weight class. This is the weight class I think he really can excel in because he's going to have the physicality edge, in my opinion. Give me Kasanganay to whoop Fabian Edwards' ass. Because I don't think I don't think he's got it.
Well, listen, I'm a little higher in the Fabian Edwards train than you. I think he's actually pretty good. I think if...
Don't let him bully you, son.
Yeah, if he had a better game plan against Eblin, he could have won that fight. The problem with him is he has the same issues as Leon. Low volume, fights off his back foot, likes to fight against the cage, will effectively allow himself to get wrestled when he doesn't want to. I feel like Fabian has to show me something different in order for me to get on board with him being an elite fighter and becoming a champion. Leon's a little better than him, but I hate the comparisons with brothers because we're brothers. We don't like comparisons either, but at the same time, like, we have to be realistic with what we're watching, and they are out of the same camp and they have similar deficiencies, just one's better. I worry about Kasanganay with the elbows from Fabian because he's very good at landing elbows in close range and landing them as you're coming in. Very good timing with the striking. Decent takedown defense too. I just feel like Kasanganay has leveled up so much since leaving the UFC. He's going to be the bigger hitter in there. He's got the better chin in my opinion. Yeah, he got knocked out, but he got knocked out at 205, like by a big guy and an effectively good striker. So for me, that's where he's had the least success, right? At 185, I agree with you. I think Kasanganay is that guy at 205, at 185 rather. For me,
he might be that guy at 205 too.
He might be,
to be honest.
You know, and if he goes to Florida, Mr. 305. You know what I'm saying?
Pause.
So, you know, I just feel like this is Kasanganay's fight to lose. I'm curious as to the lines for this fight because if it's highly disrespectful to Fabian, that's another fight where I won't mind playing. But if it's like 2-1, right?
Sounds about fair.
It sounds about fair.
Yeah. All these fights are 3 rounds. It's all tournament, you know?
It could go to decision. If it was 5, I would have more trust in him getting it done. I think it's probably going to go to decision because Fabian is actually defensively pretty responsible. So give me Kasanganay here by decision.
And that does it for the PFL. Moving right along to a Boxer Promotions main event. 10-round fight. Don't know if this fight is worthy of a main event, but entertainment-wise, it might be. We have Ben Whittaker, the surgeon, going one-on-one with the cannonball, Liam Cameron. Whittaker, technically perfect. 8-0-1. Find out of England, 27 years old. Cameron, the cannonball, 23-6-1. Find out of England as well, 34 years old.
Yeah, if you're asking me, I feel like this is Whittaker's fight to lose. I know he kind of like did a suplex out of the ring the last fight.
Yeah, that man definitely lifted that man out the ring.
It was a cop out because he started getting work towards the second half of that fight. Cameron is a dog. He's gonna be there the whole fight. He walks forward, throws volume, especially towards the second half of the fight after his opponents kind of wear themselves down. But I feel like Ben Whittaker's the silver medalist here. Ben Whittaker was working him for the first couple of rounds in that fight. If Ben can be in better condition and not overlook this guy, and
which I don't think he will.
Yeah, and not fuck around because he likes to do the theatrics in the ring where he kind of just rolls with punches and moves his head and then taunts his opponent.
Oh yeah, you mad because I'm styling on you. That's the kind of way he fights. You know what I'm saying?
He's a goof. Yeah. Like, and I don't want to sound like an asshole, but this is a fight that he should win. Cameron, if you're gonna bet Cameron, I would suggest towards the second half of the fight because I think if he gets downhill on you, he's going to be a real problem for you. I like Ben here. He's the better fighter. I expect him to load manage himself a little better throughout the contest. He does have the big amateur experience, even though he doesn't have a lot of professional experience. But I feel like he's the more technically sound, better athlete here. And Cameron is a guy that he'll hang around. I feel like he's going to have trouble finding Whittaker here in certain spots, especially if Whittaker uses his footwork, which we have seen isn't at an elite level when he's not fucking around and when he is fucking around.
I agree with you. I think since Whittaker's already had a taste of what Cameron is, kind of like in the ring, he's the more versatile fighter. He's definitely going to make way more adjustments. Cameron, I don't see him making that many adjustments for as decent as he did. I still think he's going to fight more or less the same way, where I think Whittaker is going to take definitely a different approach.
A more strategic boxing approach.
And a more, yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up where we're at with this. And the line is, you want the real, I understand why he's minus 280. I think he should be a little higher. I think he's just a more skilled guy in there. He's the better athlete. He's younger, less damage too. Hasn't gone through as many awards. Give me Ben Whittaker by second half stoppage or decision, low key, because Cameron is so tough that he could probably get to the bell here. He hasn't been stopped before, if I'm correct. So give me Ben Whittaker by second half of the fight, stoppage or decision.
And moving right along to Golden Boy Promotions, we have Oscar's Golden Girl defending her undisputed female flyweight title in the main event. Sweet Poison, Gabriela Fundora going one-on-one with La Mexicana, Marilyn Badillo. Fundora, Perfect. 15-0, the champion, fighting out of Coachella, California, 23 years old. Marilyn, 19-0-1, so technically perfect. The challenger, also fighting out of Mexico, 25 years old.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a mismatch, and there's a couple of reasons. Fundora is 5'9".
No way.
Yeah, she's huge for the division. She's a minus 17 or minus 1,800 favorite.
I don't think it's wide enough.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think this is a tough fight for Marilyn. The only questions I have about this fight is whether or not Fundora is going to stop her or it's going to get to decision. And here's why. Marilyn uses her feet very well, knows when to throw in combination, moves her head very well. She's fought most of her fights off of her back foot. Fundora has fought, I think, 1 or 2 opponents that are like that, and I think one of them went to decision. Marilyn may not give her a lot to work with in order to get the stoppage, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a stoppage as well, because Fundora is very good at going to the body, decently okay at cutting off the ring. This might be a pure value play, especially if like you have Fundora's decision sitting at like a plus 500. Overall, I think this fight might be a little unbettable just because there's a high probability Fundora can get the stoppage in this fight, and that stoppage might be sitting at minus 200.
It might be, yeah.
But the thing is, I'm giving you the objectivity to tell you that this fight can possibly make it to decision just because Marilyn is so evasive and knows how to effectively defensively box. This is Fundora's fight to lose by far. The only question I have is whether or not it's going to go to decision or knockout. As fight day gets closer, we'll let you know on our social media platforms. Please follow. But this is Fundora by a landslide, whether it's by knockout or decision. I don't know how, but we'll see how it gets. We feel close to the fight day. Like I said, I think this might be determined by value as well. So,
from a betting perspective, 100% by value. Gut feeling though, I don't know. I just think Fundora, just like her brother, super awkward, very long. I think she does get the KO here. That's just gut feeling. Yeah, that would be and I don't blame you for that. And the reason I don't blame you for that is because Marilyn, her level of competition is just not there. If you look at her record, she's fought a lot of girls that are like journeywomen, like not very good. It's just tough to fight someone with her dimensions. Like, just find any kind of like suitable sparring partners that can replicate what any of the Fundoras do.
Yes.
To be honest.
And this is like a big step up for Marilyn. But like I'm just being objective from what I'm seeing on tape. I think Marilyn's footwork is pretty good. And she's used to fighting off her back foot. So she's not going to feel awkward with the pressure from Fundora. The problem is, I don't know where she's going to be too safe either because Fundora goes to the body so well. So give me Gabriela for a podcast pick. I'll say by knockout, but man, that can change later in the week.
And that does it for this episode's coverage. Combat coverage, overall coverage. Again, no UFC. We'll wait until next week for that one. But my brother, take us home.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. There's a couple of other boxing fights going on this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Please tune in to our social media platforms so we can discuss them. I believe Kovalev is fighting this weekend as well as another big fight. Follow us. We might make plays on those fights. We didn't really have time to cover it and discuss it, which is fine. Like, Kovalev is already on his way out. There's a lot of people who don't have a lot of interest in what he's doing, but we do because we're huge hardcore fans. But
hey man, there's a fight, we're gonna watch it. You feel me?
Yeah, we covered the fights that are gonna get the most clicks and with fighters that are very relevant within their respective weight classes. Please follow us on all social media platforms and or drop a comment as you have done previously to discuss the fights that are not covered on the podcast, and we'll see if we can give you picks before the fights. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. Keep the subscriptions coming. We'll talk to you soon. See you next week. Later.